Hi class. I'm going to talk about my most recent internship experiences, one positive thing, one negative, and a networking opportunity. This last weekend, I had the opportunity to travel to Las Vegas for business, and I worked under the Montana State Billings University Athletic Department, which is super random, I know. But what happens is they host a tournament once a year in Vegas with a ton of Division two schools that travel all over the state or all over the country to get to. A lot of Midwest schools that like practice indoors in the winter because it's snowing, and luckily AP went, so I got to cover my sport along with working for another university. My role working for Montana was keeping stats, keeping live stats, and why that is an internship and is because I've never done it before. Uh, Doing stat crew is completely different than like keeping a book. There's all of these different codes. It's a lot of codes you have to do and input, and there's so I guess the most positive thing was the experience in itself. What a great experience to even have the opportunity to practice, because that's what I'm going to have to do all year for APU. So this was being my first one and just being like thrown into the fire, which I feel like I learned best at when it's sink or swim and you choose um, the output yourself, the outcome I made. So that was so cool. A negative, being that it was my first time doing it, I was so nervous, and like I didn't even know how to wrap up the games. It's not like, oh, we're done. No, like they have to wrap up and be sent to all the different SIDs and go to their conferences. So like I didn't know how to pack files. I didn't know XML, HTML, and PDF. Like just doing that in a stat computer is so crazy. Like all the steps that you have to do, along with like making sure the stats stayed live constantly, because that's the point. Is for like teams out of state who don't travel as much, like fans or whatever, like family, and they can keep up with the game in real time. Um, so that was the most challenging thing. It was humbling because it was like, okay, like you played softball in college, cool, but like you don't know anything, Sarah, whatever. So that was awesome. And then I had a few hiccups throughout the thing. I would call my boss from APU, and he would like give me the step by step. But at a certain point, he was busy at the Biola game. I guess it was like a nail biter. I think there was like a few seconds left, and Biola hit a 3-pointer. So he's like, Sarah, I can't talk right now. I'll call you later. So what ended up happening, I had to text the Montana guy to come to my table at the field, come to my field, because it was a huge complex, and he walked me through it because I inputted the wrong pitcher during a pitching change, and like it had been a few innings before I realized it. I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to like backtrack. So I can edit plays, but I don't know how to edit pitching changes within the play, because it's usually the play is like a defensive change, not an offensive change. Okay, no, usually it's an offensive change, but I was making a defensive change, so that was kind of tricky for me. And then the networking opportunity, the entire thing was networking. Like, I really got to know the REU SID, Rob Garcia, and so like we talked forever between games, and if he needed help with something, I'd go over to him, his field, or like if I needed help, I'd text him and he'd come over to mine between innings. So that was really cool. I actually like got back to the office Monday, and an email popped up from LinkedIn. Oh, Rob Garcia. So that was kind of cool. And then yeah, just Jared Pine was out, so we went and grabbed dinner and just kind of like talked about like what my plans were after graduation. And oh, Jared is the SID at the conference office. Oh my god, this is way too long. Okay, so that was my update of my internship. Yeah, okay, that was it. Everybody, hope you have a good week.